The cold. If you've been following my journey and you don't yet know how much I love the cold, then you probably haven't been following my journey. Even my son, 4-year-old son, regularly says to me, "Daddy, we love the cold, don't we?" Now, of course, I haven't been plunging him in ice baths just yet, but certainly when he's a bit older, I will be throwing ideas at him in which he might experience the cold. Now, the purpose of this video is not to go into the many benefits of the Wim Hof method. I've done that before. You've seen those videos. But what I wanted to just quickly chat to you about now actually is specifically the healing benefits of the cold. Because in a way, whilst I have obviously been testing this for the last year and a bit, having just had a vasectomy on Friday, this is probably a good way of further providing evidence for both me and you that the cold is a wonderful thing. For those of you that have been considering a vasectomy and not yet done it, so far so good. I will report on this properly, but it really hasn't been particularly tricky at all. So if any of your wives or partners out there are looking for some payback following giving birth, they're not going to see some payback from a vasectomy, I'm afraid. Unless, of course, you're going to some dodgy surgeon that really does mess things up. But suffice to say, the one that I went to was very, very good. The only thing that I found a little bit uncomfortable was the fact that he was playing around with my bits whilst a nurse sat to the left of me trying to talk to me about any number of things. Of course, I crowbarred the Wim Hof method into most of our conversation. So there are two things that the surgeon advised that I do or don't do. One was not to have a warm bath. Well, I said, obviously, I never have warm baths. Number two, he said, don't exercise for 7 days. Now, I have ignored the second one there, in the sense that certainly Friday and Saturday, I didn't do any form of exercise. I did take it easy, as it were. But since Sunday, I've gone back to my normal routine of yoga, and during the breathing period of the Wim Hof method, I have done my breath hold press-ups, which I do every day, and I wanted to continue doing this. I've not experienced any difficulties, and of course, going back to the cold, I genuinely think that cold shower that I've been having will have healing, boosting properties. And I would imagine if the surgeon were thinking rationally, he would probably agree. Certainly he said, do keep a bag of ice or frozen peas to hand. Again, I've not experienced any significant swelling down there, so I've not needed that. But could that be the cold? I would say probably yes. You know, even wandering around now in my shorts and t-shirt, it's not that cold, but I know that will have, through thermogenesis, some healing benefits. And so this is a good test, you know, and another piece of evidence that the cold, of course, is your friend. And I've certainly experienced this before in exercise. Whenever I've had some kind of muscle or joint niggle, the cold has definitely accelerated the healing process. The other thing that I've done, actually, as a slight aside, is I've continued with my headstands. Now, this one is probably a little bit odd for some of you in my thinking, but I genuinely believe, and I have found this, you know, especially with leg injuries, that the whole inversion, in other words, turning yourself upside down, getting the blood flowing through your body in a different way, is a good thing, and I think still helps with the healing process. As I say, definitely for leg injuries, I'm fairly certain that that has a positive effect. However, I know that for many of you, they'll think that's absolutely rubbish, and probably those from a science and doctorate type background, I'm sure you will disagree, and I understand why. It doesn't seem rational necessarily, but for me, I think it works, even if it's psychosomatic. Anyway, the cold, as you know, is your friend, and it heals you much quicker. I will report, as I say, on the vasectomy in another sort of 5 or so days, and I'll be able to give you my answer there. Evolution of Dave, signing off. Thank you.